Hello, everyone. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Ooh, child. A lot going on. Can you guys hear me okay? I know I'm looking a little casual today. Give me some hearts in the chat if you can hear me all right. Let me go over here and check some things out here. All right. Marilyn, I am going to drop the link. Marilyn, if you could click this link and come on to the backstage, we'll get started. Perfect, guys. That was a great podcast, wasn't it? That was an amazing podcast. And I have to tell you, I know, again, I am a little cash today, guys. Let me let my hair down. So at least I look a little bit. I'm running around here. I've got dinner on upstairs, y'all. Marilyn, if you could click that link. There she is. So that was an amazing podcast. I'm going to bring Marilyn right on up. Marilyn, if you could click that link. There she is. Yeah. So your podcast. I'm going to bring Marilyn right on up. Marilyn, if you could click that link. There she is. Yeah. So now what you can do, Marilyn, is... I'm going to bring Marilyn right on up.
Okay, I got to do something here.
There she is. So what you need to do is that if you've got this as a tab open, the YouTube feed itself, just go onto that tab and click the mute button on the tab.
You can't hear me.
I can now.
Oh, you can.
I'm muted. Wait. Hello. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I am well. That was an amazing interview. I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
I really
enjoyed it. Yeah. So I'm glad that we're going to be able to be here today. Guys, we're not going to be on long. You guys know I don't like to keep the after shows too long. So I wanted us though to chat a little bit now, probably a little bit later on tonight into first thing in the morning. Guys, I'm actually going to create a whole playlist that has the readings that Marilyn did for me. And so you guys will be able to check those out so you can see what each of them are like. Um, but I have to say that going through this process, the soul realignment, the property clearing, and the relationship reading, I am not being hyperbolic when I say it has drastically changed my being. It has drastically changed how I show up. It's drastically changed my life. I can't say enough about it, guys. So, and you guys know I don't say that easily. But this actually really, really did change my life. So thank you again. Thank you again, Marilyn.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me with this information. You gave it to me. I just gave it back in a different way.
In a different way that guys, whew, I can't say enough. I'm going to welcome everybody here. Hey, Douglas Brown, how are you? Hello, Miss Shiny, Red Violet. Hello, sweetheart. Yes, as you're coming in, please hit that like button and please, say hello in the chat so we can know that you are here. So we're going to be here for a little bit. And I wanted to be able to let you guys ask Marilyn any questions that you may have. But in the meantime, in between time, Marilyn, tell us a little bit about I want you to go a little bit more into it. I'm gonna drop the link here, your the intention worksheet, like your intention resource. Tell us a little bit about that and how they're going to see how important it is in the breakthrough. But why do you think that you chose to do that? Just help us with intentions.
Well, I think that's intention is such a big part of transformational work, because as much as I can uncover your blocks and I can request a clearing in the records, I can't complete the work without your intention. So I actually worked with a client today who said, I think those blocks are still coming up from last time. And I said, well, it's possible those blocks will repeat for you perhaps in several lifetimes, but you have to be ready to let them go. So it's really important to have that intention. So when you come into a soul realignment, you need to really do some reflecting on your life areas and where you feel like you might be just a little bit stuck, because quite often if you're stuck in one place, it's going to block you up in other places, but we're trying to get to the root cause. We're trying to, so that you don't have to do 6 million things, let's try and get down to the root and let's make a shift in the most important spot in your life so that other things can sort of start to fall into place.
Yeah. I think you said something very important there. There has to, so a lot of times when we set these intentions or we say, okay, we've identified the blocks, I don't think often enough we really do the check-in with ourselves about if we're ready to release it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That some of Neville Goddard's work goes into that allowance, right? Concept of, am I ready to just allow myself to not only feel the feeling, to identify where it came from and identify what maybe it did help me with, and am I ready to allow it to leave? Because a lot of times I don't think we really understand what's on the other side. So that's what scares us.
Yes, exactly. And that's where we're not, maybe we're comfortable. Maybe we're comfortable with having relationships go south on us because that's what they do. So that's part of who I am. Oh, I'm just going to attract the next person in my life who's going to let me down, and it just becomes sort of a, foregone conclusion where it's like, no, you can be different. You can show up differently if you just really want to. So that's why intention is important, so that you can actually take a look at where you are committed. And commitment is important too. Are you committed to coming into this work listening to it, taking it and acknowledging some of these things that have been happening to you, and then doing the homework to affirm what we're going to clear. So that just makes it all come together.
Absolutely. Homework.
Love their homework.
Oh, how important is that homework follow-up?
I think it's critical. I really do, and it also helps you to create a habit, which it takes the mind 21 days to kind of take on a new habit. So when you release these blocks, your ego is going to fight, and your subconscious is going to fight and say, no, I don't want to. I don't want to release. I want to leave it the way it is. I don't want change. So you need to be firm with your subconscious and your ego to say, no, this is the new way now. I am releasing these blocks, and this is what I'm doing. And you do it for 21 days, and you commit to that, because you know what? Once you commit to doing that and you've done this work, don't fall off now, stay with me. And then we start doing some 3D actions then to make a shift. Then you see the results of the work. Then you don't just go and do a session and then just forget about it, or put the book on the shelf or something. Like you do a course and you just put the book on the shelf and you don't do anything with it. How many times have we done that?
All the time. I mean, all the time. And I think especially for us as healers, it does get frustrating when we spend this energetic time together with our client, and we can see and feel however it works for you. We see and feel the shift, right? And we know that this has happened, and we know the clearing has happened. And then when they come back and it's like, oh yeah, but it's still here. Or we see it show up in another way. And so we ourselves know that you kind of allowed it back in, and or never allowed it to truly leave. And that, it's very important. Just like when you follow up with your doctor, the medical doctor, and they'll say, don't do this or do that, or don't do this or do that, or take this or whatever. This is the same. You got to do the same thing here. You'll get an instantaneous relief, but if you just let that kind of gaping wound that's just been cleared out just kind of sit there and not fill it back up with anything, you're going to get the same results back all over again.
Right. And I think part of it is an awareness of how you're feeling, because quite often the work will take a little bit of time to settle in, and then you'll start to notice things, but relate it back to the work that you did. So keep an eye on how you're feeling and how you're moving through the homework and what is resonating with you in that homework. Because I've had clients tell me each time they read the homework, something different jumps out off the page. So it's really kind of sit with that and go, oh, okay, that relates to this and that, but not to dwell on the work too, because it is a big session. So if you go, and some people will write notes endlessly and re-listen and revisit and get a little bit locked up in that. And I just say, you can listen to it again, but then let it go. Just try to, not dwell on all these blocks and get worried about what's there. Just experience it, process it, and release it.
And have the faith that once you have experienced it, process it, and release it, that it's actually released.
That it's actually gone. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's something I needed to hear today. Okay. Listen, guys,
I do release with people. Like quite often it's like, oh man, I felt that, he really felt it, go in the moment. It's like that, clicks into place and you go, oh, that's what's been happening. I get it now. I love that.
Yeah. I guys, again, because I've had firsthand experience here, I can tell you that some of the things that I felt leave day 1 were definitely not the same from day 5, not the same on day 10, and not the same by day 21. And if you truly do release it, the shift that happens in your world, in your reality, what you begin to attract into your world and your reality is mind-boggling. Poor Marilyn's just like, I did not expect this woman to do this. I can't. It's the clarity with which my higher self is now just going, whew, oh, great. All those blocks are gone. So now I can finally do what I've wanted to do anyway. And it's just like it's like the heavens have opened up. I can't even, it's so hard for me to describe it, guys. You have to experience. I did put the link, and it's in the description as well. And for those of you that will be listening to this on Spotify and iTunes and all the other streaming platforms, it's in the show notes. You have got to not only download her free resource, but please click on that link and go on and go on and contact her so you guys can work together. I can't say enough. There must be a feeling of empowerment from this process. Well, I think so. Do you want to talk about that, Marilyn? Yeah. Empowerment?
Absolutely, because I'm not here to tell you what to do. All I'm here to do is to channel the information from your records that you allow me to see. So it's your soul directing me to what it is you need to release. So I'm merely a channel. I'm a guide, and I love that. I love the name of my of my company. I am a life guide. I am not a control freak. I don't tell you what to do. I give you suggestions. I work with you. It's very interactive. And then what you choose, we all have free will. So whatever you choose to do with that information is absolutely up to you. But I want you to do it for yourself. I'm just here to guide you and to channel that information.
And that's all that we're here to do. Mm-hmm. We're not here to be anyone's savior. And as healers and empaths, sometimes we have to remember that. That is a great question, Shiny. That is an absolutely great question. Can you go a little bit deeper into this concept of only the portion or portions of the records that our being will allow you to see, our soul will allow you to see? Can you go a little bit further into that?
Yes, absolutely. So because we've experienced many lifetimes, and perhaps, I don't know, countless numbers of blocks. If we were just allowed to open that up and take everything and bring everything forward, we would be at risk of having a healing crisis, right? Like if we just said, I want to know every block and every situation that we've ever been through and clear it all out at once, then it's just too much. So what I ask for is only, what are you ready to handle right now? Because some people have been through some severe trauma in their lifetime. And sometimes that doesn't come up in a first session because it's too much. You're not ready to handle that right now. So your soul is saying, I'm going to clear this stuff first. We're going to go around that a little bit, and we're going to clear some things out to make you a little bit stronger in your soul so that next time we can go a little deeper. And I find that subsequent sessions are further back in our deeper blocks, and we just keep chipping away until you just start to elevate and feel better and better.
Right, because Rome wasn't built in a day, so we didn't just pick this stuff up just like 2 days ago and all of a sudden it's all going to go away. And a lot of it, even if you just want to talk about this lifetime, right, a lot of these programs or these traumas or whatever have happened during childhood, and we're carrying that, not only our childhood trauma, but then our parents, right, because they were raised a certain way and then they put that into us, and then now we've got this, and we got to somehow figure out what the hell to do with it. Right.
You may have had a trauma. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, dear.
I was going to say you might have had something traumatic happen to you when you were 12 years old, and now you're 45, and you've had sleep issues your entire life, and you don't know why. And I'm able to say, okay, what happened to you when you were 12? And you're like, that's what it was. And I'm able to actually repair that with you, with your clearing. And then, yeah, I've had a number of clients improve their sleep, which to me is one of the most important things for healing is
Oh my God,
your
yeah.
sleep, your astral visits during your sleep, and all that wonderful stuff that we do. It's
Right.
yeah, tremendous.
Yes. And I can tell you guys firsthand knowledge that has happened. Like, and it is this very surreal experience to have her say, age, da, 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 what happened at this age, and you're thinking, and you're like, holy, like, yeah, and it just it's nuts. It is absolutely
Because you
nuts the
forgot that you
accuracy.
stuffed it down and you said, I didn't, I didn't think that was still affecting me, but it is. There's still
Right,
some blocks that have just been hanging in there. And you say, I moved past it consciously. I consciously
right,
forgot about that relationship or that, thing that happened at school or that situation I was in, but subconsciously it grabbed on and held on to that block and that negative thought and
yeah,
just kept interfering with your life.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, we talk a lot, and I talked a lot about this, right? That it's when you're in, whenever you're doing shadow work and whenever you're clearing, right? This is just layers, right? We don't come here remembering everything and we don't leave here like healing everything just like that, because just like you said, it's kind of like a surgeon, right? If there's multiple things going on, within your body, the surgeon does not go in and just say, okay, well, I need to do like a double bypass, but we also need to like work on the liver, and we also need to like, oh, we got a kid,
Yeah.
we don't do that because that's too much on your physical body. So the same way, we can't expect to do everything on the ethereal body at what, because it's going to affect your physical body. It's going to manifest in that way.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. Shiny has another question. Can we be carrying ancestral trauma?
Yes, absolutely. But the way that I work with this is that I will create a story from one of your past lives that will show you what kinds of situations you might have been in from a family perspective. Maybe someone placed a constraint on you. Maybe there was a situation that you had a relationship wise with your grandparents, with your parents, with your siblings, with your husbands, wives, partners, and those are the things that you're carrying forward. So that's trauma from your past lives as you've interacted with your ancestors and the people in your life. And that's what I am able to clear for you.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Um, I think too, for me, talk a little bit about, let's talk about property clearing a little bit, because your property clearing is way different than what most of us do. So how do you do property clearing?
So it's very similar to when I do a soul clearing. I just request access to the property and I find out what, if you have portal ways open and an energetic portal way in a property, it's kind of like your property is Swiss cheese. It's just letting in negative thought forms that are swirling around in the environment to come into your space. So if you're having a sad thought, say you're feeling anxious and you've got open portal ways, well, if there's an earthbound soul afoot or there's a negative thought form outside your space, it's going to come flying in there and it's going to connect to you and amplify that feeling for you. So when I can identify those thought forms, I can actually yank them out. I just say, I pull them out and then I close those portals. So they're not allowed to come in anymore. They're not allowed to impact you. So that and then, we do the altar, the violet light and the violet fire and the spheres of protection, and we make that property solid for you and stabilize the energy. So I've had people say their sleep is better, their moods are better, their dogs are not having seizures anymore. Actually, one client, their trees are growing. Their trees wouldn't grow on their property. They didn't know why, and Now, last time I talked to him, she's like, our trees are this high. They're growing.
Wow.
I'm so excited. Like I like to have those measurements too. Like you like to have tell me what's going on in your place so we can actually see if it helps, right?
That is amazing. That's amazing
Yeah, I
to
know.
think that that can happen.
It's really fun. Yeah.
To think that that can happen. Well, awesome. Didn't anyone else have any questions tonight? We had a quiet chat tonight. I wonder what's going on. There
It's
must be
Thursday
something going
night.
on the
Pub
YouTube
night.
streets that I don't know about.
Maybe it's pub night. Thursday night. That's what we used to call it in university. Pub night. And it was payday too. It used to be Thursday, every other Thursday or something.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Thursday, sure enough, was payday. I know it's Thursday night football. I have no idea who's playing, so I don't hardly watch football as much as I used to. So it's probably some of that, probably something going on. But yeah, this is just so, guys. I did the whole thing, right? I did the soul alignment, I did the property clearing, and the relationship reading.
I also have a life situations reading, which is about giving me, if there are specific issues that you're having in your life, you give me all of those and I can arrange them into situations and then uncover the negative like beliefs or imprints or cords or hooks or all the stuff that is affecting those particular situations. So that one's
wow.
Cool.
That is totally awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, guys, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Marilyn for popping up on a Thursday night. I know usually, guys, we do this on Sundays, but we got graduation this coming Sunday, so we got a lot going on here. But I definitely want to have her on, and she doesn't know this, but I'm gonna have her on a panel to talk about some things about healing and the healing process, energetic healing, trauma healing, and how we as healers can be more effective now than we were before. So we're going to gather a few healers together and have a panel discussion about that if you're up to it.
Oh, I'm down. I'll be there.
That's fabulous. Fabulous.
Okay.
All right. So guys, I have put in the chat the link to her free guide. Okay. Her free resource, the link to work with her and go sign up now, and the link to her Instagram. Like, go do this now. You'll never be the same. You'll never be the same. And watch out, because I'm going to be putting these clips up so you can see just exactly what the experience was for me as well. Is there anything else? You're so welcome, Shiny.
You're welcome, Shiny. Thanks for coming on.
Yes. Anything you'd like to leave with us, Miss Marilyn?
I just want to say thanks. Thanks for listening and watching. And I am always looking for more souls to work with. So, if it isn't you, it may be somebody you know. So please pass it around, because it's about education and understanding what we can do and how we can all elevate ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, gang. We're going to let you guys, whomever's doing what they're doing, let them get to doing that. I really appreciate y'all coming out on a Thursday night and hanging out with us. Replay gang, we appreciate you guys too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Replay gang. And you guys are going to be able to find all the links in the descriptions or the show notes. All right, guys, we're going to sign it on off. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Love you guys so very much.
Take care.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye, guys.